Hey, Michael. Just getting to your reading. I got with me the Sirian Starseed Tarot deck. Already shuffled, already asked a question on your present moment. Cut it for you. It's my son in the background. He's having a good old time. Now, for this reading, let's start with the world/sense of past. And we move to the present moment. From the present, we have your feelings about the present moment, your thoughts, the spiritual guidance that you are receiving in this time. We have forces working for, we got forces working against, overall prevailing neutral forces, form. This can be the form that these forces work through, or it can be the form that you need to work. It can be the form that these forces work through, or the form you must take to get through these forces. Next, we have the mirror, inner knowledge, who you are in this situation. And lastly, we have resolve, what karmic resolution must take place, or will take place. So there we have the 11-card Tree of Life, with the 12th card being right there. Let's get started. First off, the world that you are coming out of. Number 13 of the Major Arcana, Transition. In the Standard Tarot, this card is the Death card. It's numbered 13, the Master number, is about completing a major cycle. Transition is also like graduating, as we see the figure here leaving, this body here into the formless and infinite realm of spirit. This, in this position, it would mean that you're coming from a time of graduation in some degree or another, be it spiritual, be it your how you're progressing as a person. It means something like that, but that it's time to move on and move to the next great frontier that awaits you. All right, next, the present moment. How are you in this present moment? The Eight of Crystals. The Eight of Crystals. Crystals is also known as the Suit of Pentacles, if you did not see that video. Crystals are about all things that hold value. Crystals have been, for millennia, sought items both of value and of power. Here, our merchant has rekindled his zeal in selling his treasures. In the Seven of Crystals, our character was overcome with doubt and depression that his treasures were not worth to others what he knew them to be worth. Now he is restored in knowing that if he works hard, he can give all the value he needs to the things that he treasures. This being in the position of the present, how are you putting in the work to give value to your own treasures, to your own career, and your own health? All right. Next up, feelings. Feelings, number 10, the Great Wheel. The Great Wheel is the completion of the first major cycle. It's hitting it's numbered 10, which is the first 2-digit number that Starseed encounters. It is the first higher octave. Here we have the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail, a symbol for infinity, for constant renewal. And also, it speaks to getting what you give. What goes around comes around. Just as this card represents a new octave in your life and the feeling of renewal at the start of a new cycle, it also asks that you be especially mindful of how you've treated others and what all you put out into this universe. With the position that it's in, being in feelings, I would say in your feelings and emotionally be mindful of your effect on others. And also be ready for a new heightened sense of awareness, a new octave, if you will. All right. Now, moving to your thoughts in this present time. The Five of Flames. Here we have 5 torches and 5 fists, all raised high, each one of them knowing that leadership is needed to make the next significant advancement, but none of them being able to either stand up to be a leader nor stand down to be a follower. This is not so much about people's temperament boiling over, but the potential is very ready for things to get to that state. What this card speaks to is looking at your ego and keeping ego in check, recognizing when you have the right action, when you have the solution in mind, and going about that selflessly, and not trying to promote yourself up or put others down, but find solution and remedy without politics or ego. This being in the placement of your thoughts, seems like there could be conflicting ideas or different parts of your mind raising their torches and saying which way you should go and proceed in this present moment. So the important thing to remember would be letting go of ego and tuning in to that original flame of spirit that is virtuous, that is your inner truth, and that is always there and waiting for you. All right. Moving on to number 5, spiritual guidance. The 4 of Orbs. Orbs, the realm of thought. Here we have a figure sitting on the beach of pretty still waters, like a storm has just passed. 1 orb below him, 3 orbs above him. This card is about taking time to isolate yourself, to gain clarity and insight. The suit of orbs, it's easy to be overwhelmed by your own thoughts. Our thoughts are very heavy, our thoughts are very powerful. If they're not kept in check, they can easily bear down on us without mercy. So this card is about taking a moment to look from the sidelines and see how things are out of your control and you need to let things blow over, or see what you can do to regain that calm and to regain that clear skies and hold that sacred space within your mind. Yeah, the 3 orbs above him, yet to be, that he does not yet have a handle on. For spiritual guidance, I'd say, just taking a step back and doing deep introspection to get your mind in order, or things that are weighing on your heart as well. This is spiritual guidance. But always handy thing to do. Next, forces working for you in this present moment. Ooh, the Master of Flames. The Master of Flames is the supreme male authority figure with mastery over his suit, flames. Flames are the divine spark that ignites the soul, the sacred flame of spirit, with its explosive creative powers, and its pure burning truth of the soul. The Master of Flames can draw upon both yin and yang essence of this suit to work grace and to bring harmony. Now, at this placement, I would say that it is likely that it is a person, that this Master of Flames represents a masculine authority figure that has mastery over over the fires of spirit. And flames are also like the noble quest and the direct manifestation through passion and fiery love. So this figure can navigate this suit without ego, and his work is auspicious and very disciplined. This can also be the force within you, that Master of Flames within your heart, within your being and persona. That is something to really draw upon in this time. Bringing in your own mastery over the fiery hot passions of the spirit. Next, forces working against you, aka blockages, or things not in full bloom. Ooh, number 9, reflection. Little is left to interpret with this card. Number 9 of the major arcana, when spirit has completed its first cycle, 1 through 9, it is time to reflect and take a step outside of the equation and see what all has been experienced and prepare for the next go round of the next great octave, which is 10, great wheel. I would say with this placement that it is something that you need to do, especially with the 4 of Orbs, which has a similar message and tone. I would think that reflection is something that is not in full bloom yet, that you should take extra time to be very calm and clear and honest with yourself, and really just lay everything out on the table, everything that either weighs on you or that you are trying to make a decision about, and just look at it all from a sacred neutral perspective, and just breathe it in. Relax and have mastery over the fiery passion that is spirit and existing. Next, force overall prevailing neutral forces at work in this time. Karma. This card is pretty straight to the point. Karma is number 20 in the major arcana. Like number 10 before it, the Great Wheel, karma is about, like what is illustrated by the serpent eating its own tail. It is the next octave of divine justice, of karma, about bringing balance and unity. It is the response to, So I've kind of glossed over this card a few times before. Just give me a second. I don't like my answers Yeah, I hate using the little cheater book, but now, look at that. Oh, yeah, almost got it. A second. Alright. Just give you the straight out of the book answer since that's. When Starseed has come to full circle, step by step, lesson by lesson, he has explored the life process and grown into the human experience. For each example, the keys of life had to teach. Just as now he is outgrowing it, prepare to return to the stars. But first is a time of reckoning, a time of facing the karma created throughout the journey. While religions teach us that this is a moment when the almighty judgmental God weighs our good and our bad deeds to determine our cosmic fate, Starseed knows that we stand only before ourselves throughout our lifetimes and beyond, answering only to the karma we have created. Cause and effect show to us in the other moments on the path that are once again our esoteric model as they were in the key of divine justice. Because cause and effect, so, alright. This key, formerly called judgment, dang it, is closely related to that card. Okay. There. Overall presiding forces at work right now. Karma. Pretty straightforward. Very neutral. Right. Form that these forces will take, or your response form to the forces at play. The Adept of Chalices. Now, the suit of chalices, if water is emotion, then chalices are what illustrate the fullness of emotion and the emptiness of emotion. The adept is the male seeker of mastery. He has the ability to dive deep into realms of understanding, but has not yet conquered the ego self and is not prepared for levels of mastery because of that. He still needs teaching, still needs guidance and refinement, but is well on the path of mastery in the realm of emotions and navigating the storms of his own heart, swimming through the lows and riding out the highs. He is well on his way to becoming the master. In this placement, I would imagine that the form that you would take to best handle these forces would be recognizing how far you have come and how far you have to go in swimming the seas of the emotional bodies. We are all at the mercies of the tides of emotions. We all have ups and downs, but through humility and through diligence, discipline, we can better handle the storms and better enjoy the calms. This can also represent a person in your life who these forces could work through. Obviously, I would think that is you because of, karma, master of flames, and reflection can all work through you. But be open to there being a representation to this who is not you, I guess. All right, that makes sense. Yes. Next, hidden knowledge, the mirror. Who are you in this present moment? Number 14 of the major arcana, alchemy. In this picture, we have, alchemy is the combination of all the elements. Here we have sand, earth, which is being melted by fire, and cooled with water, while what gives it its shape is the breath of the blower, air, But none of this would be possible without the creative intent of the maker, spirit, energy, whichever. Alchemy speaks of combining all the forces that you have and all of the elements around you, that they're at your fingertips, and that you have the power to cultivate all of them harmoniously and beautifully and create new things and create new treasures and new adventures or thought landscapes or anything. The possibilities for you have the talents and the possibilities, and this is about bringing them together. Questions to ask yourself would be, how are you ready to do that? What things do you need? What materials have been brought together for your creative flow, for your creativity? But I'd like to get the book on this one. I don't quite have all of the things that is said about each one memorized, but I do have the overriding overall meaning. I like to just check in on this because this one's pretty beautiful. Let's see. Come on. While the ancient alchemists were supposedly attempting to change lead to gold, their higher purpose was in transmuting the dense physical body into the spiritual light body of the enlightened soul. The alchemy key employs a magical process of glass blowing, whereby the four primary earth elements of air, water, fire, and earth are combined to create a new form, a beautiful blown glass sphere. Let us not forget the consciousness of the artist, the focused intent, the primal intelligence or impetus in this process of transmutation. The alchemy key is rich in meaning and can be interpreted at many levels. On one hand, it is about the blending of different elements with patience and skill to create a desired outcome or new form. On the other, it speaks of balancing aspects of our lives in order to move forward. For some, it is a key of spiritual healing, building from the previous key of death versus immortality, and how we learn from our grief and fear when we embrace our own infinity. Yeah. Very auspicious to have as the mirror. Let's see. Good. Now, 11. Resolve. What needs to be brought into balance? The Ace of Orbs. The Ace of Orbs. Maybe I'm just getting lazy, but I just... or I just had my confidence knocked by using the book, and so I'm just... Oh, hello.
I'll show you something cute in a minute.
Alright. Sounds good. Alright, the Ace of Orbs. Here we have a dolphin and one shiny new orb. Like the other Ace cards, this is speaks to manifestation or the creation of a new pure thought or idea or foundation of thought or perspective. See how it these choking up over here. The Ace of Orbs is about the one-mindedness and simplicity of having one bright new idea. When in this suit, you can see that as the numbers increase, the thoughts become heavy and burdening and weighing down, whereas with the Ace of Orbs, it is light, it is magical, and it is inviting. How are you ready for this new idea to come? What new idea are you in the process of creating? How is your thought process being improved upon? all things to consider. Now, let us put this back into its placement. Resolve. It seems like the story that I'm picking up on here is that to resolve the one-mindedness and the eighths of orbs comes from the balance and introspection of, well, one, having masculine mastery over the realms of spiritual fires, the passions within your heart, furthering your reflection into who you are and where all you've been, and bringing that all into balance, the Four of Orbs, through spiritual guidance along this path. Now, none of this is just like, oh, I do that, step 1, done, step 2, done, step 3, it's done. It's a long, flowing, like some would call it, phase. I like to think of it just as a time stream. You're going with the flow. And the one-mindedness can both be the solution, and it can be what needs to be resolved. The truth is somewhere in between. And so, yeah. Ooh, finally. What is the highest good being served right now? That is the 12th card, which is kind of the most elusive to me. I was able to glean, these meanings and placements on my own, but number 12, I want to, but at the same time I kind of have a difficulty. So let's just call it weird. It is mystery. It is nameless. It is a message from the higher beings to the present moment. All right, 11, divine justice. Here, this is the 11th of the major arcana. And here, Spirit is blindfolded, holding in her hand a scale that is balanced. This card needs little interpretation. It is about divine justice and divine karma. It's about restoring, making what is wrong, about righting our wrongs, righting our own wrongs within our hearts and how we view things and how we feel about certain things. It is about bringing balance. And balance, to me, there is two main aspects of God or spirit. There is loving kindness and there is judgment. When you balance loving kindness with judgment, you have grace. You can't have one without the other. And that's, to me, what the scale represents. Not so much, weighing out your bad deeds and your good deeds, but having balance between kindness and judgment. You have to be able to stand your ground for what is right. You can't let, wrong just walk over what is right, but at the same time, you have to keep keep the fun in check, I guess. Anyways, that is your reading. I hope you enjoy, and I hope this was very helpful. Love you, bruh. Have many blessings. Tell your friends.